Okay, that's on. Hello, Rhonda. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good, good. And you? That's great. Well, you're first in the list here today. I'm just getting all the bells and whistles working here, I think. The best thing that I can see is that little red button up there that says recording. So yeah. Okay, here comes somebody. Oh, Mallory's coming. Hello there. How are you?
Hey, Jen.
Oh, are you swimming in the ocean there with you? In the behind you? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like me in the clouds here. So, yeah, Rhonda is here. Just came, and you've come, and so we're waiting for Dina, and then we will be on our way.
Awesome.
Anybody got questions while we're hanging in here?
Nope.
Okay, great. Let's see. Court and transpine, meeting info. Settings. Okay, I think we are good. Ah, here we go. Hello, Dina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Looks like
Nice.
we've all just arrived in the last minute. So wonderful. You guys are very prompt. Thank you. So if you're all ready, we can just go ahead and get started.
Sounds
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
So good. I'm going to share the screen. And okay, so that's there. All right. And we don't need that up here now. I can minimize that, make sure I don't get rid of anything I shouldn't. All right. Okay, well, officially, welcome to week 3. That's August 20th. I can't believe how fast the year is going by. It's really crazy. And you know, the older you get, the faster it goes. And I'm old, and so it's whizzing by. Anyway, so we'll get started. So as always, I have to say that the sessions are being recorded, and our plan for today is calculated fields. We'll touch on a few other things, but this is the main thrust of today, and it's one of the things that everybody looks forward to and wishes they hadn't touched because it's hard and it's confusing, but once you grasp it, you know it's really how you succeed in doing report writing at any depths. So let's continue on. Okay, so let's have a little fun first while we're just getting started. How to change field labels. Anybody know how to do that yet, or have tried that, or even know that you can?
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, good. Basically, you know, this is the 3.5 screen, or a picture of it. And if you want to change a field name, like right here, you've got client PO number. That's the standard number. That's the standard title for that field. And we've changed it to contact name. And when you have your cursor clicked in a field, you always can look down here at the bottom left, and it gives you info as to what that field wants. That's anywhere in Sage. Wherever you click in something, you can look down here and ask, and it'll tell you what it wants from you or what your options are. So let me go to the next screen, and this will tell us a little bit more about this feature. Okay, so how do you actually change that? Okay, you click in the field, and then you click F7. Now you have to be an admin or be in Sage admin status to be able to do this. But you click F7, and this pops up. And what this is a screen down here which allows you to change both the name and that little message in the bottom. And so right here, let me get this bigger. That was the wrong button. Okay, here we go. So, and let's get that up a bit. Okay, so in this screen, this is the system name that's there, and then you just type in the name that you want. And up here we titled contact name, and so that's what that became. And then down here, this is the message that was in that bottom left corner, and then here you can enter in a new message, and you click save, and that's that. And that is so useful on any place where you have fields with a title. That's especially useful on the 3.5 screen in the this section right here, where you've got all the dates and information fields, where you can change them to be something that you need it to be, and then you can fill that field with information that you need. So that's that. The
Does
next
that
thing,
work on certain fields?
yeah, it works on all the fields.
No, because I have access to do that like in our custom fields, but like I was trying to change the pager number field and it's all grayed out.
Pager number. Okay. That hang on.
It's on the employee
Yeah.
side, not the
Okay.
insurance side. But
Yeah. Just had to turn off my phone so that the calls coming in aren't disturbing. So
oh, wait, no, it let me change it. Some of the
Oh.
Yeah, I
fields
was
are
gonna
grayed
say,
out,
we
but
changed
it does
ours
let me
too.
change it.
so good. But anyway, that's such a useful tool. The next thing is, that you can open up Sage, and then you can open up Sage again and again, and have three different opportunities to enter into Sage. What that comes in handy for is, let's say you're working on something and you have to keep going between, this table and that table. Well, you could have this table open up here and that table opened up here, and they're both in front of you all the time. And they both feed data exactly the same way to Sage. And so the changes you make in this one show up, and the changes you make in this one show up if they're in the same area, or in the same company or whatever. And so how you do that is, if you open up Sage the first time, down in your little bar at the bottom, like right here, you can see that popping up right down there. That works the first time, but that doesn't work the second time. What you have to do is go to your screen, like right here, and you can use that one to open up a second one and a third one, or however many you need. Because I work with different companies doing reports for them. I might have the sample company here, and customer number 1 here, and customer number 2 here, and then I'm working on all three of these at not quite the same time, but in the same time period, and that way I can go back and forth to those. Anyway, that's a really useful tool to be able to do that. And that is something I didn't know right away, but found out along the way in the last 22 years since I've been doing this. So that's another fun thing. Now let's go on up here. One more thing. A lot of Sage reports have no modify report spot. And why is that? And sometimes you can tell that if it's got these little buttons and check marks at the selection criteria area, you know that's going to be one that doesn't have a modify screen. But sometimes it doesn't have that, and it still doesn't have a modify screen, so you can't get into it. Why that is Sage realized that they couldn't connect the tables that they needed to create that report. And so they had to actually write a program for that report. And then they put it in, as one of the reports that are in the system, but they're not created in Report Writer. They are separate programs, each one. That's why if you see no modify report up there, that's why and how. Anyway, FYI. So let's see. Okay, now some of your questions this week. We had some good questions. I can't get the CP fields to work. My response was the CP predefined fields they only work in the report forms, not in custom reports. I don't know if that answered the question. I guess so, because I didn't get a response after that. The next thing is, can the CP fields, the predefined fields, be typed in the same text box, one after the other, so that they line up more easily? No, they have to be entered into their own little field box. But I can show you how to line them up easily. And I'm going to do that right here. I made a little video. Let's hope that works. If not, let's see. There it goes. There's no audio on it, but I will tell you what's going on. And so basically you go up to Pages, click Format, and then you come over here to the Snap to Position grid. And so this is setting it for every 1/4 inch. And then you can also see the grid in the background. Now you can see the grid marks here, okay? And so let's add in a field. Line number, I think I chose. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to add another field. I think I was trying to do something, but anyway, I'm adding another field. And you can see where the line number field is. It's right at the top of that square. And so when I add in another field, because we have the snap to, see, it jumps right up to where that, it's at the same level as the other one is. And so that's how you can align things easily in report forms. So that was that. Let's minimize that. Okay, so any questions on that? No, okay.
On the first question, that was me actually.
Okay.
So that was the page I was on, like what you had created with the report page design. But when I put those CP fields in there, nothing would come up when I tried to run the report.
What kind of a field did you use? Page number or something else? The name of the title, or what kind of a field was it?
So I added a text box and then put the CP code in there for the predefined field. And when I do the properties, it shows what the predefined field is supposed to be. But when I try and print the report, it doesn't come in there. It just still says CP whatever, you know, it doesn't
Okay.
actually bring in the company information.
Okay, you'll have to show me afterwards
Okay.
on your system, and we can figure that one out. Okay, we got some more questions here. Let's see. Okay. The listing multiple line items instead of the most recent information at hand in Sage. That's been something that I've wished was in there, but it's not something that you can do. What that is you've got a list of items, but really you only want the last, let's say the last entry to show, so that it's the most recent entry. And that is not something that you can do. Let me move this over.
And that's been driving me nuts for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, you're going nuts with reason. It's just not something that you can get Sage to do. Too bad. That might be an enhancement item that you could enter into enhancements, in Sage.
I have been for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. Next one, am I trying to list multiple rows? I can only get one row to show. The solution is to add grouping. There was no grouping in that, and everything was just on, I think it was a detail line, but either way, it was just one line. And with grouping as the employee number, and the date is the group 2, and the date is actually put on the detail row. So this shows that solution, and this is the grouping down here. And with this in place, we are able to get the report to flow. And so hopefully that helped.
Yeah, it was much better.
Okay, good. So now let's get into calculated fields. This is just a piece of the table of contents, but it just shows you all the different types of calculations that can be done. So we're just going to go to the next page, and in the screen that pops up when you're doing calculated fields right here, this section right here, it runs down, and so I've put it here, and so you can see all of those items. Those are all functions. Some of them are what would be called calculated fields, like the SQL statements, the if then else statements, but these are different things that you can do. Now, I'm not going to show all of them to you, but I am going to show you what they do for you. If you click on one, right below here, it tells you about it. Now, this is spell, and so it spells out a number. Like if you have a check where you have the dollar amount up here, and down here you have a place for it spelled out, this is how you do it. And here you say spell, and then you put the number or the number field in there, and it'll do it. And so that's what that does. Have some fun testing that out. Here's a couple more examples. I don't know why I put aged on here. I think that's a useless thing, but I tried using it the other day just to put an example here, and I couldn't get anything to work on that one. So, but anyway, that's aged here. But case, I'm going to spend a little more time on that. Year and month and date. You got year and month and date, and then year and month and date again. And one of them puts out the year. If you put the date field in parentheses, like down here, if you put the date field in parentheses with year in front of it, it will give you the year that is in that date, just the year part to show. Same thing with the month or the day. The other one of those that is like that, it'll spell them out. And so, give those a try and see what damage you can do. Date $, if you put that in a field, that will give you the current date that is in your system. Today's date, basically. Any place you want today's date, you can put that. If you click on it, it'll tell you more about it and how to use it. Left, mid, right, adjust. Those are self-explanatory, but the helps down below. If you click on them, it'll tell you about those. We're going to spend some time on the variables, but I also want to go back to case. This is one that you will use, a lot from time to time. Basically, case, I've got in the next screen, it'll be bigger and you can see it better. But case gives you the opportunity. Let's say you've got job status. Okay, well, job status 1 is this and job status 2 is that. This gives you the opportunity to spell them out. 1 is this, and then 2 is this, and 3 is this, so that if the job that you're in and the status is 3, it's going to show you what the status name is. That's what case helps you to do in a report. And I'll show you just in a second here how that works. Okay, so case. Let's see if here's an example here of case. This is job status, and so here's the word case, then a parenthesis, and at the end a parenthesis. And so this is the field name. That's basically AR job status. And then 1 is what 1 is to be is after the comma. And so 1-bid is going to be if your job status is 1, then 1-bid, because you typed in 1-bid here, that's what it'll show. If job status is 2, then the comma, and after the comma, that's what will show. If it's 3, then this is what it'll show, and so forth. And so that is how case works. Let's look at something else here. Daily payroll. Okay, so basically, and you don't have to show the 1-. You can. I could have just said, okay, 1, comma, bid, 2, comma, refused, 3, comma, contract. So what you put in this area is up to you. And down here, the example is daily payroll, pay type. And here's the example without the extra 2- or 1-. If your pay type is 1, then it'll say regular. If pay type is 2, overtime, and so forth. You can see how that works. So let's go. Oh, and up here it gives you more details. This is in the book, in my book. So that's all there for you too. Let's go on to the next page. Now, prepare yourself. Here's some examples of case, and these are the report numbers that these functions are in. And the name of the field is this, and the description of that field is this. And so here is what invoice status name. So if 1, it's open, if 2, it's review, and so forth. And where this comes in handy is if you're doing a report and like you are putting job status in the report so that whoever is looking at this can see that, okay, this job status is bid, or this job status is contract, or current, or whatever they are. And so that's where it comes in handy. There's so many places that comes in, and I put this in here just so you can see all the different variations of how this can be used. And you will use this if you know it's there to use. And so account type name. This is really good if you're doing income statement or something like that, because these are the names of the GL account types. Cash accounts, current. Down here, you get a little further into 11, operating income, and then direct expense and so forth. You know, you've seen all those. So payroll status, open, completed, posted, employee status, current, on leave, quit, terminated, pay type status. Anyway, so I think that explains it and gives you plenty of examples to see, so that you can easily use case in your job your job report or your report creation when needed. Any questions on that? Okay. Okay, so let's go to variables. Variables are one of the functions that are absolutely necessary to succeed at report writing. And so I'll show you an example here of how this is used. But basically, if you use the N stands for number, the S stands for string of characters, or D stands for date. Don't ever change the S, the N, or the D. Use the right one, and don't ever put something else in there or it won't work. So let's go to the next page to see the example here. Okay. And I've got another page after this. So if this isn't too clear or big enough, let me make it bigger here. Okay. So I'm using the variable with an N for number, and I've entered in the word job number in front of the curly parenthesis, and that means that that is what is going to show up in the pop-up screen for you or whoever is running the report to fill in. Let me go down one more real quick and see if I've got the pop-up screen. Is that here or here? I thought I had that showing here. Okay, yeah, here it is. So when you're using the variable like in, and you are asking wherever you need the job number, and the reason you have to use those is because the table that you're in doesn't connect to an item you need. Like if you're using, and that's what this is here. If you're using cost codes as your table, and you have to many times, you can't connect to job number in cost codes. And so you need to be able to tell the system that you need a job number to come up in the printing process, in the report. And so this is how that is done. Let me go back here a little bit. And so there's a couple parts to this. When you use the variable, and I'm focusing on the N because that's the one that I use most often, all the time actually. You have to have this built in your calculations for the report, so that the system knows that that is there, and then you can use this here in your reports, in the report form or the custom report part. And we'll go into this in quite a bit in depth so that you can it registers and you know how to use it. Okay, so if you're going to do job number, you have to create a calculated field. You can give it any name up here. The description needs to match the wording that you put in between the parentheses here. Let me. Now you see this is a curly parenthesis and on the end is a curly parenthesis. And then this is the square parenthesis and the square parenthesis. And that is how this is structured with the curly and in there. So what you can change is what's in where the word variable is. Okay, so let's get back down here. So first, when you're going to use it, first you have to do this in a, let's see. Here's where you are building a calculation. Now here I'm using that in a formula, but you also first need to create a formula that just has this in it. So the system knows that you are using this. Now, if you're using it in a custom report, you probably are also going to be using it in the report form in the header to show the job number in the header. Not always, but sometimes. And so you would need to do this in the custom report and also create one of these in the report form. And then you can use this in the field, like up here, in here, where I'm saying budget line job number equals the number I type in the pop-up screen. And so this is the custom report. Here's all the fields in the custom report. This is one of the fields, and it's called original budget. And I need the original budget, but this is a cost code table, and I cannot connect jobs to cost codes except by doing it this way. And so I have to use this, and you'll see it in one of these other screens I'm coming up with. You have to use this in each of the fields that you have in that report to pull up, in this case, the budget and probably the costs and so forth. So once you have that built, then you can use that in your SQL statements and probably your if then else statements. I think so. Anyway, so let's go to the next screen and then we can come back to this, but let's see what we've got next here. Okay, so the variable makes this report possible. And this is a job cost summary with hours report. And this is impossible to do without the variable because the table is cost codes. Let me just get over here and take a look at these are all, okay, this is, I always put the CC in here, so I know that that's, oh, here, that's probably a cost code primary table. Let's look at that and look at this. Yes. Oh, that's a job cost one. So that's not an example that I need. I know where I can get them though. There. I don't know if it's here. Do want you to see that, so because this is the issue that usually takes the longest to grasp and utilize. You know, whenever I've taught, that seems to be the case. And for me, myself, for myself, it was that same way. Okay, so let's now. This is 13.4, where all the extra reports can be written that aren't in the Sage menu. And as you can see, I have written a lot. So, okay. By division, yeah, I think this will be one. Okay, that's let me get up to the job. I'll top in a J and they'll go up. There we go. Maybe this by job cost journal. I don't know. Let's take a peek. That's probably not one, but let's take a look. Nope, job costs. (13.4) always takes a while to, especially when you've got so many reports in here. It's a little slower. Okay.
Is that the report name on your PowerPoint? The job cost summary with hours, parentheses, CC?
Yes, that's a
Is that the report you're looking for?
No, actually, I was just looking for one that had a CC, so I could tell that was the primary table. But actually, you're right. I could look at 614.13, and that'll answer the question, maybe. Let's go. Let's go take a look at 614.13. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
Sweet.
Okay, see, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Okay, so cost code being the primary table. So let's see what we have as options for primary table cost code as okay, here. So if you're in the primary table for cost codes, here's what you have as options for things that connect. Here's the items that connect. I'm going to open this up. Takeoffs, and you have to realize that even though these are here, they really don't connect very well. Now, sometimes this list of things for a primary table will connect, but you know, trial and error has let me find out that they don't connect very well. Anyway, so directly in the cost code table, you have cost code number, description, unit, division, and a couple other things, but nothing that you can connect to. Let's make this bigger here. And slide this over. Okay, so that's not what I was thinking. Anyway, that's all that connects from the cost code table, and why you have to use something like the variable right here to get other data to come into the report. Okay, so while we've got this open, let's take a quick look here. Okay, so we've got job number. So basically, budget line job number equals the number we enter in. Now let's take a quick look too at running this. Okay, so 13 back to here. Okay, so that's the other thing. With selection criteria, you don't have much to choose from for selection criteria. Another reason why you need a variable that I'm describing. For here you have cost code and division. The cost code and the cost code division. That's all that you could put here. And so that's why you need the pop-up screen, so you can enter in other info that's required to create the report. And if I do this, and up pops the pop-up screen. And so the job number that we create in these formulas pops up here. We can type in 186 for a job number and run the report. And there it is. Now, each one of these fields is a cost code field, but we've added the job number variable to each one of these formulas to pull this data. So, 6 times here and 6 more times and another there. So, 11 times the formula had, that particular formula had to use a variable. That's why the variables are so important. Okay. And so that's exactly what we were looking at. Thank you so much for mentioning that. It saved me some time, and get the head on straight here. Okay, so all these fields, that's what I was just showing you, all these fields need the variable to pull this data, the budget, the changes, everything. And so that's where we are on that. Let's see, is that where we are here? Yeah. So let's go to the next screen. I think it's more of this too. So these are just 3 fields of the formulas that use the variable to provide the job number to be connected to the report. And so you've got job number. What we're doing here is asking for it to say job number and job name, probably in the header. And so you put this in, and that'll give you the job number in your report. And then you use a select statement to pull the data that requires the job number to get the data to tell you what the job name is. And there's a pop-up screen. Here's another one. Cost amount. The job cost amount from the job cost table, where the job number is the job number, and the job cost code equals the cost code number. Now, since this is the cost code primary table, we can do this, and the job cost status is equal to 1. Okay, and then this one too. This is the total budget. And so basically we're looking for the sum of the total budget from the budget, where the budget job is this number and the cost code is the cost code. Let's see if I have that showing anywhere else. No, let's see what's here. Okay, so let me ask you if you have questions about the variable N for number. The variable D is for date, and so same thing. If it's asking for a variable for the date, then it's you enter in the pop-up screen the date, and it'll plug that date into your formulas wherever you have that variable D. And the string, I don't use that very much, but it's there and it's come in useful sometimes. Basically, I can't think of an example, but if you have a few words that need to be in something, then that's how you can use those words to come into a field in your report where you couldn't get it in any other way. Let me go back here real quick. Okay. No, I was thinking maybe I had the S here, or we could do this. Let's see. Yeah, okay, we're going to go to, we'll do this and come up here to modify and define calculated fields and scroll down. Okay, here's S. Okay, creates a string variable to declare at report generation, whatever that means. The syntax is variable S, where the variable is the description to be displayed in a pop-up when running the report, at which time you enter the actual string value to be used. It doesn't necessarily show you an example of that, but if you look at my book, I think I probably have an example in there of a string. Okay, so, all right. Okay. Yeah, we did that. And we did that. And this is where we are now. So next week, we're going to talk more about SQL statements, themselves, and how they are constructed, how they're written, and how they're used. And you can see that the SQL statement is a select from and where statement. And basically it's saying select an item, a piece of data from the table that it's in, and where, here are the parameters, like the selection criteria here. And that's how the SQL statement is structured. Also say it here. Let me go, no, this is for next week. This is an example of an SQL statement. Select the cost code name. So you have the cost code number, but you need to put the code, the cost code name up there as well. Okay, so you select the cost code name from the cost code table, where the cost code number equals, in this case, the time card line cost code. And so this must be getting it from a payroll time card table. And so that's how it's constructed. Basically, you're pulling a piece of data from a table where something equals something that connects that enough to where this will come up. And that's basically what this says. And we will go into detail there. Now, we've got a couple more things here, but we'll have some time left over, I think, a couple of minutes, and we can go more into any area you want or more into SQL statements. So for homework, and I understand you're busy, and if you can't get it done, please don't worry. It's for your benefit. It also gives me, things to put in, like the questions that you've asked that'll help others. But if you can't do it on a particular week, please don't. But if you can, I really look forward to receiving them. Anyway, for homework, I'd like you to try an if statement. Now, we haven't even talked about if statements. A case statement, a variable, and a date variable. Don't worry about the if statement. Maybe we'll cover that in a few minutes. Maybe you can use all of them in the same report and then send me, what you've done. I appreciate it. I'm known as the slave driver by some. And so I know you're busy, and every 15 minutes you spend on homework will bring you hours and hours of benefit later when you're creating reports. When you learn something, take a screenshot of it. I do it all the time because at my age, you can't remember much. And so I find something in all my lookup screens, and oh, that's where it is. Okay. And so I take a screenshot of this so I can find the path every time I need it. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. When you learn something, take a screenshot of it. Later, when you can't remember quite where it was, you'll treasure your screenshots. Truly. Oh, and one more thing. I spend about 20 hours each week preparing for this 1 hour. And I'm glad to do it. I'm thrilled to be able to do it. But I truly value your time spent learning and doing homework. As always, do what you can, and I'm happy with that. So I want to ask you for you to think about a report that your company needs that we can be working on, you and me, each of you, while you're in the training in the next three weeks. I'd like you to think about it, describe it to me in as much detail as possible, give it a name. What is the goal of the report? Who's going to use it? How's it going to be used? Lay out the columns and the rows. You can use an Excel sheet. Give the columns and rows labels. How often will it be used? What benefit will this be used to your company? You know, if you pretend that you're me doing this for a client, you have to ask yourself, will you have given me, the enough info to prepare the report successfully without any other info? And of course, that doesn't happen usually often. I usually have to get more info as it goes along. But this is the process you will do on every report you do for yourself or for your company as you go forward. I'll help you with this report during the next 3 weeks and afterwards if still needed. I'd love to be able to have you have a valuable report you've created for your work come out of this class as one of the things that you get. You know, obviously you'll have learned to do these things, and that's the biggest thing. But you know, I know that your work will appreciate that. And so keep in mind creating the report. Here's what's coming up: creating SQL statements, creating more complicated reports, wrapping up. And if we need a week 7, hey, we can do it. And if each of you or any of you need one-on-one time with me, we can do that too. So now we've got 20 minutes. So if you have questions, now is a good time to ask. Otherwise, we'll go into something and go deeper. Questions?
So there's one thing that I've been wanting to do, and I don't remember if I've reached out to you about it or not, but because I play around a lot with our pay stubs. And I know that we already have a detail area on our pay stubs, but I wanted to somehow create a smaller detail area or a function that shows like the breakdown of like the total fuel that was paid to them, toll bridge, and like out of town per diems. And I've tried the select statements with that, but I'm not sure because I'm not including a variable with it, if that's why I'm unable to get like the total, because it'll show the total, but it shows like however many time card lines that I enter. That's how many times it shows up on my pay stub.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get my thought process here going.
So the pay stub we use is 37.
Okay. And we would need to be in payroll checks and 37. So that'll be down here. Oop.
No, the report that we use is 37.
Oh, 37. Sorry. There
Yeah.
you go. Okay. And then we have to go down to one of the standard pay stubs. As you can see, I've worked a lot on pay stubs.
Me too.
Okay, let's look at this one. I think this is the standard one. And we will, let's see, status type. Okay, I need to, let's see here. I'm going to do F5. And hopefully Andy will give us a record. Let's see here. Well, maybe. Let's see. Okay, preview check. No matching records. Okay, I know what. Let's just do this and see what happens. Probably blow up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. First check. Okay, something's coming up. Okay, so here's pay stubs. This is what you get normally. And now, this comes in from the custom report.
Mm-hmm.
Except you don't have access to that. You cannot change what's here.
Correct.
Now, you can change what's up here because that is the form. So let's go back to this.
And that's where I wanted to put it, was like the top right box.
Yeah. Let me get my head on here. I have to think a minute where I'm at. So there, okay, oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Form. Okay, so this is the paycheck. This particular check has the check stub. Now, because this is typing, you can change these. You can add things in here. I often will change this area for clients who need something special. If really necessary sometimes, and they don't need the stub, I can get rid of this part, which gives me all this space to add something.
Yeah, that's what I did with ours, so we didn't have duplicates.
Yeah, I tell you what, let's take a look at some of the other things that I've done, and maybe that will give you an idea. Okay, so this one has vacation. Oh, and here's one of those examples.
Yeah, that's what mine looks like.
Yeah, and this is so that a lot more calculated deduction fields can show. Because when you make this bigger, that fills in. Well, actually, let's see. I'll have to get out of the screen. But anyway, so this is one of them. I think I pushed the wrong button.
Yeah, I've already added my own sick available, vacation available. That was fun.
Yeah. So we're going to go back into here. 37. And let's look at all deducts. Okay, that's probably something like what you're showing. No. I'd have to run. Let me see here. Review check. Okay, so this gives, I think I gave it a little more space, but I'm not sure. This gives it a little more space, but see, it says other deductions. There's more that will show if you give it more space. But sometimes if you have to have the two stubs, you can't. So let's try one of the other things here and see something fun. Full page, check payroll. Check conforming. Yeah, oh, there's more here. Oh, yeah, okay. Here's one for you. Now there's a stub for you.
I like that.
That's a check stub. And then on page 2 was overflow. Maybe it's the same thing. Nope. Oh, it was the next person. Anyway, this one was a doozy to do.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Anyway, so to answer your question again. What are you trying to do on the stub?
So instead of the top right corner, having the per diem, salary, etc., I want to just title it like fuel, for instance, and have total fuel paid out on that time card, because it shows on the add-ons, but I want to break it down for my little monkeys that don't know how to add and just kind of make it cleaner and easier for them.
Okay, so somewhere up here you wanted, so you can tighten this up. You know, these can come down and these can come
Yeah, we
down
don't
and
even
give you
use
space.
those.
Okay, then you can get rid of those and use this
Yeah.
space for something. You know, and so you're having trouble getting fuel itself to show. Is that what you're saying?
So I can get it to show, but like so we enter in like day by day for our weekly payroll.
Okay.
So however many time or line items are on my payroll, that's how many times it shows up when I try to put it on the pay stub.
Okay.
So it's repeating itself by however many time items I've entered. And I've tried select statements, and I think I tried if then else statements.
Uh-huh.
And I can't get it to just be fuel $250. It says $250, $250, $250.
Yeah. Let's work on that separately.
Okay.
Because that's more complicated than you know would be beneficial for the group to be
Right.
you know sitting through. But I want to show you a report.
Actually wouldn't mind sitting in on that when you do, because I have the same, not with this particular report program, but I have the same issue on other reports that I've tried to create where it duplicates the lines, and I'm like, no, I just want it to show one time.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder if this is the spot. I want to show you one that number 19.
Maybe that could be a week 7 thing that the three of us do. That would be cool.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to just see if this will pop up a bunch, then we can just look at one. Maybe I should have zeroed in a little more, but the sample company doesn't have a lot of stuff in it, so it doesn't take too long. Okay. Okay. This one doesn't have too many lines of time. Okay, this is better. This is a report. Sometimes this can be used as a stub, but it's run separately. Basically, you have all the details from that particular paycheck, including the hours. Here's the time card lines, and usually it could be filled in with this stuff too if it's there. So you,
like
you can get the job, you know, premium, regular overtime, cost code number. Anyway, and then here you have all the deductions, the employee kind, the employer kind, adds and deducts, and then the year to date. Let's see if we've got one of these that has more. Okay, this has more. But this is a great report for telling the employees how much the employer actually pays for them.
Yeah, we break that down on ours.
Yeah. And so this is a great item for clients. Let's see if this one has the pay groups, if there are pay groups. I mean, this report has them, this particular has them because there were pay groups in the time card. Anyway, so questions. We've got 5 minutes or so. This is unusual that I am ahead of myself here, time-wise. I'm usually fighting the clock.
Would now be a good time to look at the report I was working on with the CP, or should we wait until after?
After, I think. Yeah,
okay.
After. Yeah, let's do that after. Let's take a quick look at some SQL statements. I'm not sure. let's do, I'm sure to have something in here. Okay, let's look and see what we got here. Okay, almost any of these begin SQL statement. Okay, so here we are looking at a report, and this is the equipment, labor, material. These are the cost types across here. And so, and these are the budget numbers and the change orders and the actual. And so to get, and this table is job costs. And even with job costs, you still have to have SQL statements. It's not just with cost code primary table. SQL statements are used almost in every report. And so this particular one is pulling the equipment budget from the budget table, or from the budget screen. And so we want the equipment budget from the budget lines table, where the budget lines job number equals the job cost job number, and that connects. So I don't need a variable there. And the phase number equals the phase number, and the cost code equals the cost code. And what that's doing is zeroing in on the screen, the budget screen, where you have the cost codes here and the cost types here, and then dollar amounts in the various spots in that table, in that screen. And we're trying to tell the system we want the numbers from the equipment column for a job and a phase, but also not just the equipment column, but the column that is for each cost code. And so that's what this is doing. Here, now let's take a peek at this report. And that's 09, in case it goes out. It does. Okay. Okay, so let's do 186. And we can see what, oh, this is the dreaded thing that happens sometimes. Have you ever come across this, anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. There's really nothing you can do about this. So I don't, maybe it's going to be the same thing up here, but sometimes, and that means that report's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. We just take a look at something else. I'm glad you saw that, because it happens to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, oh, okay, let's see what this one is. Okay, so this is a different report, but basically you are pulling job, the cost types. Let's see, cost type. Oh, here's the cost type, the cost code, and then this is the detail that's coming out. And so if I open that up, now that we've got that there, let me open this up real quick. And so here, to create this report, we've got the grouping job, cost code, cost type. And so we've got group 1 job, group 2 cost code, group 3 cost type. Each one are identified. And then the detail row is all the data that is scrolling down here, you know, in this area. The record number, the transaction number, the date, the description, the vendor number, and the amount. Anyway, so that is the structure, and the SQL statement is what helps you to accomplish this by using, I don't know if this is one. Yep. Oh, this is if then else statement. Oh, I should have gone a little bit over the if and else statements while we're here, while we're there, but we are done now. Anyway, so that's just the structure of report writing and some of the things that we will talk about next week. Any final questions or comments?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate all that you do, your patience, your learning skills, and some of you have already been doing report writing and are trying to learn more, and I'm grateful for that. The report writer person in Sage is almost a vanishing entity.
Huh.
They're just like certified agents that train you, with Sage. But there really are two of us left. There's actually a couple more that do smaller amounts, but there's really just two of us left in the country that do this.
I'd like to be the third because I'm super into it.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Talk to me. I need somebody to take this over. So anyway, so so we will get into week 4 next week. Looking forward to it. And again, during the week, ask me questions if you have them. I know you will. And I appreciate your time so much. I appreciate each of you taking this class. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, one last thing here. Look at
Uh-oh.
I forgot.
The elephant.
The elephant. Remember him? I think we're taking a few bites out of him. Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. Hey. Rhonda, you're still here.
I am. I was on the
Okay.
other screen playing.
Okay. That's okay. I just want to stop the recording right there. Okay. Without that, it runs.